All right, what's up, guys? Welcome to. Why am I starting it off like it's? Anyways, I'm reacting because usually I start my other channels off like, "Hey, welcome to today's video of whatever I'm talking about and stuff." I don't do that on this channel. I just like, "Hey guys, I'm reacting to a video titled." When I don't even feel like I start the video, fam. How do I start my videos? Okay, I just need a breather. All right, so anyways, we just gonna act like none of that it didn't even happen. Okay, we moving on. We're reacting to a video uploaded by, I don't even say it like that, but anyways, we just gonna keep it going. We're reacting to a video uploaded by, I already liked the video, bro. I don't know what I'm doing anymore. I forgot how to do YouTube videos. I honestly did, but Age of Wrestling has uploaded a video titled "When Intergender Wrestling Goes Wrong: The Asuka Incident." I didn't even know that this was a thing. Like, nah, man. It's like that's one thing. Like, the more and more I'd like become, and it's crazy because it's like I've been a wrestling fan since I was like 9, 10 years old and stuff. So you would think like, okay, you already should know what you need to know about wrestling. I'm like hearing all these different stories of wrestlers like outside because I'm like, I'm gonna be honest with you. I mainly just watch WWE. AEW is like the first wrestling show that I watched outside of WWE. I've seen some episodes of TNA, Impact, but yeah, I've just mainly been in the WWE. But I wish they would, like, WWE would do some stuff like that where it's like, you learn more about like the wrestlers or something, where it's like, okay, like, their craziest moments and like, or how did they lead to this moment in WWE. I feel like they don't do that. I feel like they need to like do, bro. I'm saying that, no, that would sell. If they don't do something like that already, they should do something like that right now. Have it where every wrestler, I know they have it where there would be some wrestlers where they kind of do like a origin stories, but remember when they used to do those DVDs back in the day? Batista had his, John Cena had his. I'm trying to think who other wrestlers, but I'm saying they should do that with like Ricochet, do it with the Miz. I feel like we all kind of know, but I'm just saying, like, just throwing out some names out there. Asuka, freaking, think of some other people. Yeah, it's just all wrestlers, not just some, all wrestlers. They should do like a show where it's just like, before WWE, and then they just talk on all like, the moments before before they signed with WWE. But anyways, let's go ahead and get into this video. Make sure you guys go subscribe to Age of Wrestling for more videos like this. And then that being said,
warning. This episode contains content that may be disturbing to some viewers. Viewer discretion is advised. Asuka is one of the greatest women's wrestlers in the world today. She has separated herself from other women in wrestling through her incredible in-ring skill, charismatic aura, protracted longevity, impressive versatility, and her strong connection with the fans. With all of these aspects, she's managed to become a multi-time Women's World Champion in WWE with many remarkable reigns. However, Asuka wasn't always Asuka, and things haven't always been rosy, especially when she was in Japan wrestling under the ring name Kana. An incident occurred in Japan in 2014 when Asuka had a match against the most notorious man in Japanese wrestling, the murder grandpa himself, Minoru Suzuki.
I remember this guy.
In this match, he absolutely decimated Asuka and it crossed the line as far as
yo,
as it was more akin to an actual domestic assault. But why did Suzuki go so hard on Asuka? And how did
this guy is crazy?
Asuka was born in Osaka, Japan in 1981, and growing up she was a massive
Bruh,
fan.
I remember seeing that guy on AEW. I did not know he carried on like, I'm sorry, but no, I couldn't do that to a female wrestler. I know if the female wrestler, she signs up on it and she's like, I'm okay with it, I'm like, I'm sorry, but no. I'm like, my mama done raised me better than that. And if my mom like, oh yeah, mom, like, come to my wrestling show tonight, and she just sees me just like slapping something, nah, I honestly think my mom would jump in the ring with a steel chair. And you know how like they don't be allowing headshots? I'm finding myself waking up later on that night. I'm like, what happened? They were like, your mom just went straight crazy on you. That move that Edge does where he takes the chair and he hits it across your head while you laid there. Yeah, your mom did that at least like 100 times. Like, we counted. Once guy said 99, but I counted 100, and so. But anyways.
But weirdly enough, she wasn't a fan of Joshi wrestling at all, which is Japanese women's wrestling, even though it has such a rich history. Instead, she was interested in men's wrestling, as her heroes were wrestling legends like the great Muto, Antonio Inoki, and someone who she would infamously make headlines with in the future, none other than Minoru Suzuki. Even though she had a great love for wrestling, she instead went into a different field as a career. She worked as a graphic designer and a journalist in the gaming industry, as video games were another one of her passions. Her current YouTube channel is a testament to this.
I'm subscribed to
Even though
it
she
because
loves-
I had watched her video when I was getting the Asus ROG Ally. Her video convinced me to go out and buy the Asus ROG Ally. So shout out to Asuka.
video game industry
Asuka got nothing but
achieved a
love
lot.
for me.
She had a calling for her first true love, which was professional wrestling, and so she quit her job and started to train to become a professional wrestler in 2003. She made her debut in 2004 under the ring name Kana in the all-female promotion Major Girls Fighting Atars, previously known as the promotion Arison. She wrestled for less than 2 years in this promotion because she was forced to retire in 2006 as she was diagnosed with chronic nephritis,
Oh,
a
wow.
condition that caused inflammation of the kidneys, and that can be caused and exacerbated by exactly the type of strenuous exercise that comes with the job of being a wrestler. When she
Dang.
left wrestling, she opened up her own graphic design agency, but her professional wrestling itch was just too strong and she returned back to the ring in 2007, a year and a half after retiring. When she returned, she really started to build her name and fame in wrestling. While American wrestling had long been dominated by a single company, WWE, the Japanese wrestling scene is far more splintered, especially where Joshi is concerned. The biggest promotion in Japan, New Japan Pro Wrestling, did not feature women's wrestling at all, leaving a void to be filled by a ton of smaller companies. After Asuka came back to wrestling, she wrestled for pretty much all of these Joshi wrestling promotions. She arguably found her greatest fame in the promotion Pro Wrestling Wave, where she was one of the company's top stars. It was in this promotion that she formed the stable Triple Tails with Io Shirai, now known as Io Sky in WWE, and who was a multi-time women's world champion there. The stable was also with Io's sister, Mio Shirai. This trio would go on to dominate the Joshi wrestling scene, but they disbanded after about a year. Everything changed for Asuka in 2010 though, when she published her manifesto in the magazine Weekly Pro Wrestling. And no, not the type of manifesto of one of those mass shooters who murder loads of people, but a professional wrestling manifesto. Through this manifesto, she explained how she was largely disillusioned and disgusted with the Joshi wrestling scene, which she found overly stylized and more focused on how the woman looked rather than the product
Dang,
itself.
I'm like, why?
She also trashed her fellow
Ow.
Joshi pro wrestlers,
I'm like, that
not
hurt
only for
me.
their personalities, but also for their wrestling. Asuka basically went full savage mode on the Joshi wrestling scene. So here you got a hotshot Joshi and Asuka, who had only a few years experience wrestling, calling for a notion to improve the Joshi wrestling industry. Even though there was nothing inherently wrong with what she said, she was in most folks' eyes a rookie overstepping her bounds by burying the Joshi industry by pointing out its very blatant flaws. This is a no-go in a Japanese society that values conformity, age, and seniority. This manifesto managed to
Ain't
not
no,
only
I
get
get kneed
her
in
on
the
the
back.
backside
I'm
of
like-
her peers, but promoters too. She was crucified in the media for this, and was also accused of being too stiff and dangerous in the ring. Funnily enough, this manifesto shot Asuka right to the top of the industry, because everyone essentially hated her and wanted to see her get a comeuppance. All of this caused her to begin producing her own shows around this time under the banner Kana Pro. The fact that she was able to pull big crowds in Japan based off of her name and the other wrestlers she invited to wrestle on her cards just showed how talented and how popular she actually was in the Joshi wrestling scene. She was still hated by her peers and promoters though, so much so that she even claimed that Stardom is an organization that was created to defeat me. Stardom was co-founded in 2011 by one of Asuka's biggest enemies, Nane Takahashi, with whom she had real-life beef with and even
Oh, wow.
allegedly got into a backstage fistfight with years prior. Even though Stardom at that time was not as big as it is in this day and age, Asuka was essentially blacklisted from the company and not allowed to wrestle there. But that didn't matter though, as she was still getting booked across Japan.
But yeah, it's like, if you got beef with somebody, I'm just saying, like, me, if I just started a company and then somebody that I got beef with is like, oh, let me wrestle, I'm like, nah, fam, that ain't happening. So I can understand.
But she could draw very well. She was also getting
Still
booked
crazy,
in the
though.
United States for promotions like Shima and Chikara, with some of her most notable opponents on the American independents being Sarah Del Rey, Mia Yim, Nikki Cross.
Yeah, I was about to
and
say, I was
Athena.
like,
What
yeah,
also
I thought
helped
that
her in
was her.
popularity was the gravures that she released. These are basically very racy modeling videos, featuring her in a bikini in various compromising positions.
I'm like, ain't
doing
no
various
different than
things that shall not
what
be done.
WWE was doing. Like, WWE, they had freaking divas doing Playboy, had them doing mud. Like, fam, hey, I'm saying, like, I feel like where, like, female wrestling is at today, I'm like, so different than, yeah, you don't see none of the stuff like this unless it's like off of their own personal social media accounts and things. But Yeah, back then, I felt like that was like a thing to do and stuff. So
into on this video.
it don't surprise me.
Definitely too hot for YouTube. What also helped her with her popularity were the two new gimmicks that she created and debuted in 2013, Kana Zombie and Kana Clown. She used to wear nightmarish makeup, making her look almost demonic. There was a menacing dark aura around her, and she was not only scary to look at, but behaved in a similarly disturbing fashion. The poison mist was also a prominent feature for her arsenal. Her current gimmick now in WWE is a callback to this version of Kana. This portrayal of her character was a super smash mega hit and caused her popularity to grow even more. And just like that, she had won over Joshi wrestling as an industry. They preyed on Asuka's downfall, but all she did was rise to the top. She had so much influence and was such a big draw that it was hard for anyone to criticize her. She could be a lovable babyface who was funny and relatable, or a terrifying heel that made you uncomfortable with fear or hate. That is what made her so special. Her creativity and charisma shot her to the top, as she was the type of wrestler who was willing to be bold and take risks.
Dang.
She wasn't in it for the
that
money
hurt.
to be champion. She was wrestling because she loved it, and fans could tell, so they gravitated towards her. She was also very into intergender matches, as she wrestled various men before. This led her to a self-produced show, Kana Pro Mania Reach, in 2014, where she booked herself in a match, teaming with Pro Wrestling Noah mainstay Naomichi Marufuji versus Joshi legend Maiko Satomura, and the most notorious man in all of Japanese pro wrestling, and one of her heroes growing up, the wrestling king himself, Minoru Suzuki. Suzuki at this point forged a reputation all over the world and in Japan as one of the toughest and most badass guys in wrestling. Basically, he's a sick Everything starts off normally as Suzuki and Asuka make their way to the ring. The match begins as normal and everything is standard, but then whenever Asuka and Suzuki are wrestling, it's a little bit stiff. Nothing too crazy, but still stiff nonetheless, as he whacks her with a knee to the face and gives her very stiff elbows that rock her. She tries to fight back, but clearly she is no match for Suzuki, as he is bigger and stronger. Her offense on him is no sold, and Suzuki is straight up manhandling her, but still, it's nothing too out of the ordinary and is often seen in intergender matches to get heat for the man. But then almost 20 minutes into the match, in the end stretch, things start to cross the line. Asuka tries to fight Suzuki.
There's two different matches that I would have with female wrestlers. A comedy match where it's like, yeah, I'll like act like I'm getting ready to run and clothesline them, but then they hit me with like a 3-piece McNugget and stuff, and then that I just fall out, and something to like get the crowd to like laugh and stuff. Like I'm trying to have it where they stomachs is hurting and things, that type of laughter. That, and probably like a serious match, like okay, like if I were to think of a story, so let's say it's on some stuff where it's all like, like let's say, Triple H, like this is like some like crazy side of wrestling where Triple H, he looks at Asuka and like, let's say me and Asuka are like the best of friends. Triple H is all like, no, the only way for you to keep your job is that you have to beat your, or you and your friend has to have a wrestling match. And so I'm like, fam, I'm not fighting her. So I'm all like, yeah, I'm not doing it. He's like, oh, well, if he's like that, you got to go up against Brock Lesnar and a no disqualification. And I'm like, okay, Asuka, look, I gotta win this. I mean, I don't want to win this match, but I want to win this match. But I'm like, yeah, if it's on some stuff, but I just can't do like no crazy, I'm kneeing her, kicking her, doing like, yeah, if it's like one of those like ones where it's all right, it's clearly not gonna do nothing. I pretty much would want her to go to leave that match like how she went into that match. And I'm like, I'm sorry, but I'm like, either I'm not putting my hands on her, or it's just gonna be some comedy stuff where it's like I do, but she just, it's like pretty much the reverse of this match where it's like I don't want her to be like beating me up like all crazy and things, but still, just having it where it's all like I like hit her with like a neck punch or something and it just don't even phase her. Then she done grab me, flip me, and then put me in some submission, and I'm like, okay, I'm screaming, yelling, I give up, I tap, I'm like, I'm done, I don't want to do this no more. Something comedy related. But anyways,
once more, and once again he no sells it. She eventually starts to get some offense on him, and he seems affected by her moves. This is a big mistake though, as Suzuki gets up and gives her one of the worst headbutts given from a man to a woman in wrestling.
Oh.
Suzuki then proceeds to drag her lifeless body around by her hair like she's a rag doll and proceeds to slap her while he's on top of her.
Bruh, what do you got going
The ref even
on?
tries to stop him, but he pushes him away with ease, and he then grabs her by her hair and strikes her face repeatedly in a
I'm taking a
brutal
weapon
way.
across
The
him.
partner
I'm like, nah,
refuses
bro,
and
you
comes
is
in for a
crazy.
save, but Suzuki throws him out of the ring swiftly and proceeds to brutally kick and slap Asuka. His own tag team partner, Meiko Satomura, sees what's going on.
Yeah,
He
it's
even
like-
steps into the ring to try and stop him, but he throws her out of the ring swiftly as well and continues to straight up assault Asuka. This was truly uncomfortable to watch, as you could tell Asuka was out of it.
And people just
Once
getting
again, she
like,
tried to fight back, but this was futile. He put her in a leg lock, then chokehold, and then roughly put her into a gotch-style pile driver for the 1-2-3.
hey, look, cause I know, like, I don't know if stuff like this still be going on today. I highly encourage any female wrestler, okay, if you did not sign off on none of this, I'm letting you know, okay, the one way to shut a man down, you ball a fist up, and I'm saying a strong fist. I'm saying like a Debo punching dude across like the street type fist. Ball up that fist. Make it as firm and as strong as you possibly can, okay? Fall down to your knees and just give that man the strongest uppercut to his manhood area. Will shut him down and let him know, hey, you gonna have to calm down. Otherwise, you gonna find yourself like, yeah, yo, kids, they just gonna be figments of imagination. All that stuff down there, gone. It's like when you go and use the bathroom, you either gonna have to get real low, or it's gonna be on some stuff where it's like, I don't know, open up your stomach and then it's just, yeah, your bladder, and then you just, you know, empty it or something. But yeah, bro, I'm like, I highly encourage women out there, fight that, hit him where it hits home.
Ending stretch of this match was one of the most unbearable and agonizing
Cause
experiences
that is
ever.
crazy.
This whole incident was planned though, as it was a work shoot, seeing that Asuka booked this match. Asuka asked Suzuki to go as hard as he could with her and not to hold back during this match. Suzuki apparently did not want to be as stiff as he was with Asuka during this match, but Asuka, being the booker of the show and wanting to give the fans a memorable experience,
Look
convinced
how
him
them
to go
people
full
looking.
Chris Brown on her. Suzuki
Like, look, you can see this dude right here. He's like not amused. You see like WWE fans, and then you see fans. I'm like, nah, bruh, that man, he ain't nobody amused.
her inspiration.
I
was
would
growing up,
leave
and
if
she
I was
wanted
a
to
fan
prove to
seeing
him
that.
and the world that she was tough as nails. He went through with it, as we could see, and afterwards he said that he respected her more for taking such a vicious beating from him. Even though this was all planned, it was still definitely too far.
Yeah.
This is why intergender wrestling gets such a bad rap. It's because it can spawn moments like this where it goes beyond the realms of wrestling and plain and simply just gets too real. Japanese wrestling is notoriously stiff, but it should not cross over into intergender matches to this extent. It's not even a thing of projecting Western values on Japanese wrestling, but wrong is wrong, and this was just plain wrong. After this match, the frequency of Asuka's performances in Japan was low, and fans started to speculate her retirement. What fueled this was when she said she will stop accepting bookings in Japan. But then out of nowhere, she appeared on an NXT TakeOver show in the crowd and announced that she had signed with WWE.
Oh, so
as
that's
far as the rest
okay.
of the story, you already know it. As she
I
has
didn't
become-
like, I wasn't, because this was like before NXT was on, like, because there was like that time when they was like, oh, we're only showing it on the WWE network or WWE.com and stuff. At one point, they were showing NXT on TV. I don't know why they took it off,
one
but
of the greatest WWE women's wrestlers of all time. But that is the story of her time in Japan and her incident with Minoru Suzuki. Thank you for watching this video. If you
Yeah.
enjoyed this video, please check out our other videos. Also, please like,
a
share, comment, subscribe.
9-year-old
But
girl.
Anyway, goodbye.
I'm like, Kenny, what you got going on? Yeah, I don't think I'd be able to do that match. I would do any. That's something where I'm all like, you know, because I've always said like, what matches would I like wouldn't want to do. And yeah, it's, you know, I'll do a ladder match where it's like if I gotta be on top of that ladder and take some crazy bump outside. Freaking, what are some other matches? The thumbtacks to the back. I will do any crazy match, and that's just showing you guys like how much respect that I got for women. Where I'm like, I'm sorry, but I wouldn't want something like. I'd rather do all the craziest matches in the world than that match. I'm like, that's just something where I'm like, nah, bro, I couldn't do it. And I'm like, nah, it's just something where I'm like, put me inside the ring with the most craziest person of all time. Put me inside the ring with 2003 Brock Lesnar. I'd rather take a beating from him, getting slammed through garbage cans, tables, and everything else, than to do that. I'm sorry, but no, I just couldn't do it. And I'm like, nope, couldn't be me. I'd get fired before I do some stuff like that. So. But yeah, that was crazy, man. I was like, if it's an acted out thing, then okay. But still, I'm like, that's some crazy stuff, bro. But anyways, make sure y'all go subscribe to Age of Wrestling for more videos like this. Like, subscribe to me too, and I'll talk to you guys later. Thank you guys for watching, and peace.